Welcome to Gals and Gears at NAB Show Live streamed by Broadcast Beat. We are so excited to be here today. I am here with my lovely and talented co-host, Amy DeLouise, the creator of Gals and Gear. She is a phenomenal producer, extraordinarily talented, and she is the author of a book that is called
The Producer's Playbook, Real People on Camera.
And it is available in the bookstore at NAB Show for 20% off, so you should go and get that.
All right, and Adryenn is also a talented producer. She owns wowisme.net. She does all kinds of live broadcasts. She is the queen of social media, and you need to hire her immediately if you need a social media campaign.
And if you want a storytelling campaign that goes viral and attacks, makes your audience super engaged, you need to hire Amy. So, enough about the self-promotion. We have the most amazing women here. Before that, though, I do want to introduce each our sponsors. We have Black Magic Design, we have Snell Advanced Media, we have Vitech and Women in Film and Video, and thanks to our supporting sponsors, partners, Adobe, Odd House Audio, Rampant Design, Radiant Images, Sundance Media Group, Isotope, and Zacuto.
Yeah, it's a great group. So if you go to their booths today, make sure you thank them for supporting us.
And then make sure you get your ribbons that say Gals and Gear. Then everybody will go, what's Gals and Gear? And then next year we can make this even bigger.
Right. All right, let's introduce our first guest. Jennifer Pigeon is a UAV pilot. To the rest of us, that means she flies drones, but she has a lot of licenses and qualifications beyond just moving around drones in the air. She works with the Sundance Media Group, who are amazing and have been doing all kinds of education on UAV here at the session. So we welcome you to the show, Jennifer.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Wonderful. Nice to have you. I love your orange drone.
Yes, this is the newest in the lineup of Unique. It's the H520. It's their commercial drone. So they're getting into the commercial space. It's kind of the whole wave of what drones have been doing. We've been moving away from the terminology drone just because that has some negative connotations to it.
Because they blow people up.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, we're UAV, which is unmanned aerial vehicles. So that would be a vehicle. SUAS is one of the other terminologies that are out there, and that's small unmanned aerial systems. So that's when you have, a different camera on the bottom or the actual ground station, remote control. So those are the two more common terms that are out there. This would be considered an SUAS for commercial use.
So how far away can this go? What can you capture with this, and how big of a camera can you have?
This, the payload that is on there, that is the largest payload that it will carry. Unique does have a larger UAV that will carry a larger payload, so you can actually put a digital SLR on the bottom of it. That's the 920 plus, but it's
Right. So now explain to us a little bit. There's so many different drones. I'm sure everybody here is looking at them.
Yes.
We all want one.
We all
covet
want one,
them.
but can you explain a little bit about how there's a different purpose for different kinds of drones?
Absolutely, yes. There's, just like any toolbox, you've got different tools for different purposes. So Unique has a line of drones that goes everything from the selfie drone that we'll actually be giving away today, the Breeze.
Oh, I've got that right here. Let me hold that up. Let me hold that up.
We're giving one of these away.
We're giving one of these away.
So be sure to hashtag Gals and Gear. Get that out there.
If you want a drone, if you want a UAV.
So that's the selfie drone, and that's kind of the portable, go everywhere.
And it's a 4K.
It is a 4K.
4K.
Yes. Yeah. So great picture image. And basically it really is about what you are trying to accomplish with your UAV. So are you trying to just capture the moment, or are you trying to be part of a big broadcast scenario? So many different types of drones out there.
Okay, I'm hearing theme music. I don't think that's
I'm hearing
right.
some music, and we've got some lovely movement
I think,
going on.
Is that because we're going to show a little bit of footage from you?
Here we go,
There we
yeah.
go.
I think we're showing some footage. Amazing.
Yeah, so this
just
is some
tell
of
us
the
a
footage
little bit
that we've
about
done.
what we're seeing.
This here, we actually shot with a DJI Mavic. And honestly, we were just out driving in Colorado and saw the herd of buffalo and said, let's get it up.
Amazing.
So that's a scenario where you want to have, a drone with you, basically, right?
Yeah.
So some of the more produced pieces, you want to have redundancy. So the hexacopter is really good for having redundancy. You've got 6 propellers instead of 4, so you can always if you lose one because you've accidentally run into something, it'll actually still fly.
How reliable are they? You say about lose something, and that's something that I've heard is that, especially with multiple cameras, multiple things, sometimes they don't always all work as expected.
Just like any technology, right?
Yeah.
So it helps that the hex copper has some redundancy.
6. I was just thinking you need spares.
Yes, exactly. It's actually quite reliable. Most UAV systems are reliable, but if you put them in situations where there's high magnetic interference or electricity, so people are doing line inspections, really have to pay attention to some interference.
Now, if somebody wants to learn a little bit more, I know you're on a panel later today. Is that
We
right?
have a panel tonight. Yes. So
Tonight from 5 to 6:30. I think it's in South 228.
You got
I
it,
apologize. I have laryngitis. NAB voice, right? So drop on by because
Please
you can
do.
learn a little bit more.
Yes, that would be fantastic. Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you, ladies.
Oh, wonderful. Well, what is the one thing that you think people need to learn about drones that they may not know?
Practice makes perfect. Just like anything, you need to practice. There's often times where people will buy a UAV and think, okay, I can go out and fly this. And yes, you can, but to fly it for a specific purpose, that takes practice.
Fantastic.
And I would highly recommend getting some training from people who do it every day.
All right, well, we are going to give this baby away.
Awesome. Who wants a drone?
So, I know a lot of people.
I want to hear noise.
a
Like,
UAV.
noise. Nuts.
Lots of noise. Oh my God, we've got a great crowd out there. A lot of drone lovers. How do you want to do this? You want to do it from who's been tweeting? What
We
do
can
you
look
wanna
at
do?
who's been tweeting.
We have some good tweeters out there.
We definitely have some good tweeters. Hang on, let's see. Our top tweeters so far are KRO_edits, Julesy Smith, Kathy Hackle, 4 Mile Post, and Traveling Jules. Are any of you here?
Ooh,
We do.
we might have to have them duke it out now. Okay.
I did see her hand first.
You did. Okay.
And who
tell
are you?
us- Jules E. Smith. And tell us a little bit about what you do, Jules.
I'm an executive producer.
Right. We have an audience mic, but we haven't given it to you.
We can't hear her, so we
she
do
is
need
a
to get an audience
producer.
mic. to
She's
her.
a producer in Wisconsin.
Yes.
Why don't you go stand at our little audience mic? We're going to test that out in this first segment.
There we go.
Thank you. All right, tell us a little bit
That's
about
how we
what
roll.
you do.
So I'm a producer, an executive producer for a production company in Madison, Wisconsin, and some of our clients include Travel Wisconsin, AODA treatment facilities, and SaaS clients.
Fantastic. All right, well then you are going to make great use
Of this drone.
Let's give it up.
You'll love it. It's a great little selfie drone.
All
Now
right.
make sure you take a picture of
Here,
yourself
come-
with that.
Here, stand right. Watch out for all the gear. Yeah, just hold it up. Somebody take a nice picture. Put it on Facebook.
Yes, get that out
Put
on
it on
Facebook.
social media. Gals and Gear, we are
Tag
awesome.
at Unique Aviation.
All right,
At
thank you.
Unique
Unique.
Aviation, thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
I'm so excited. I have a drone. Can I confess? I have a drone, and I have yet to fly it without crashing it.
All right, well,
That's
My
You're
kid can just
You're
go
gonna
like
learn.
this, and I'm like, it's the Xbox thing. But for me, it's in the hedge every
We can
time.
get you some
okay,
training
well,
for
we're
that.
gonna.
That
we're
would be
gonna-
awesome.
All right, well, thank you, Jennifer. We're gonna get our
Pleasure,
VR
thank you.
segment going in a minute. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank our sponsors again, Unique, YUNEEC. If you want to go to their booth, they're on the floor, and they are fantastic, and we're so appreciative of our sponsors. Now we're going to our VR segment. I want to introduce Celine Tricart, Nina Page, Amanda Shelby, Scylla Cosma. And we are actually going to have another giveaway on this segment. So while they're getting seated, I'm just going to show you. You want to talk about this?
Okay, this is an iPod, Insta360 Nano. I don't know why I can't say that. It fits onto your iPhone, slides on like this, and
Are you still?
it's portable. You can stick it in your purse, stick it in your pocket, have it in your coat pocket the whole time. Always have 360 available to you at all times. And the video comes out fantastic, and with a click of a button, you can share it on social, and everybody can be a part of your fun. So we are about to give this away.
Woo. All right.
I'm so
I'll put
excited.
that right there.
Okay.
I'm going to introduce Celine, and then you can introduce all these ladies. This is Celine Tricart. She is a cinematographer, VR filmmaker, and I want to learn more about that. She has been doing an amazing job winning at the Clermont-Ferrand Film Festival, the Austin Film Festival, and a Creative Award from AIS. And so she really knows her stuff, and she understands how to really create sort of high-end virtual reality experiences. And so we're going to delve into what she does in just a moment. Why don't you introduce the rest of our group?
We have Nina Page, Amanda Shelby, and Celia
Scylla Cosma.
Chilla. Okay.
Tell us about Nina and Amanda.
I can't because I don't have their
there you go.
pages. That's why. So Nina is head of business development at Radiant Images, and Amanda is the head of VR production at Radiant Images.
And Scylla is with Nokia.
Nokia.
And I'm sure you guys know the Ozo camera that Nokia makes, right? Fantastic VR camera, so we're going to learn about that.
Awesome.
So one question I want to sort of ask all of you, so if we can just kind of go down the line, I'm going to start with you, Amanda. VR is reasonably new. How did you jump into VR? What got you excited about it? What made you make that jump?
You know, for me, it was a funny story. In 2009, Google sent me my first cardboard, and it took me maybe 30 minutes to put it together. It's like a puzzle. And
Speak up a little bit.
And so when I put the headpiece together, I put my phone in it, and it didn't do anything. I was like, what is this? Why would you give me this and it doesn't do anything? Because at the time, I didn't know how to find the content. So for about a year, it just sat on my desk, and then it was just taking up space. A year later, I just threw it away. Then I moved to Los Angeles, and I just started, one day Googled it, it like popped up in my Google again. I'm like, are they following me? Well, then my coworker came in, he said, hey, I was rock climbing this weekend, and that virtual reality thing you were talking about, I met a guy. He said you should go to this festival. So I went to Pasadena, and it was about 100 people in somewhat of a parking lot, and we were strapping GoPros to a cardboard, and that was the first VR LA, and I was hooked. And then I met Michael Mansouri from Radiant Images, and he showed me the light. So 3 years ago, I got into VR, and I fell in love with the process in the industry and the new form of storytelling ever since.
Fantastic.
Well, I actually come from a 3D background, so there's a lot of similarities with 3D and virtual reality. So it was kind of a natural progression for me. But the first time I put a VR headset on was the Chris Milk experience, and I was most definitely hooked. I screamed and squealed, and I've been in it ever since.
So the way I got into VR was I saw a first demo about 2.5 years ago, and I worked at Dolby at the time. So my ex-colleague who went to Nokia said, you should see this demo, you should see this demo. So I eventually went and saw the demo, and I thought, wow, this is something really hard to describe. I didn't expect this when you described it to me what this demo is. I expected something with 3D, but it's very immersive, it's very different. So it's a very new experience. So I got really hooked and said, I want to work with this.
It's a very fascinating thing when you put those headsets on and you're transformed into a whole different world. I did one where, you know, I didn't even have a sword. I had a little widget thingy in my hand. But when I was in the world, I had a lightsaber, like slaying dragons type things. It was completely transformative, and I could see how you could use it for learning, or you could use it, people are using it for gaming. You know, how is that going to transform not just education, but business?
I want to ask, maybe I could ask Celine that question.
Oh, yes,
She didn't
sorry.
get to tell us about how
Sorry,
she
what
jumped
was the
in.
question? The business?
Just, you know, how did you get into it, and what different areas are there for VR? What are the opportunities? What are the real places where this could be a very different kind of learning kind of experience?
So, just like Nina, I'm coming from 3D. I'm a stereographer, specialist of the 3D camera. So VR was the next logical step for us. I was just, instead of shooting with 2 cameras, we shoot with 16. So it's just one more step towards immersiveness and realism. I think, so the business of VR as of today is very spread out. Well, first of all, there's different types of VR between game engine-based VR and live action VR. And now there are more and more people trying to mix the two, like shooting live action, put in a game engine to be able to do interactivity, room scale, etc. All four of us are more invested in the storytelling, the filmmaking aspect of the VR, but let's face it, like the biggest market right now is probably games, and then everything that's related to the industry, architecture, real estate, etc. But our focus is how we can use this technology to raise awareness about specific issues or tell stories.
And in virtual reality, you're recreating an entire world. In augmented reality, you have to know that this is a cup, and it's very different. So you can do more in VR because you can control the entire environment.
I'm not sure you can do more, but yeah, in AR we bring assets and elements into the real world, and in VR we bring the participant into a virtual world. So it's like getting somewhere or bringing element inside our own world. So it's a very different thing. But AR has a very strong potential to explode in the next few years, especially with what Apple is doing, etc. And VR is a more maybe difficult to access technologies because you're locked in a headset. But the potential for me for storytelling is tenfold.
I love the idea also, even just for business, where I could put on a headset and I'm in a conference room in my pajamas, but I could be wearing an Armani suit.
Yeah, there has been certainly many, tests and experience with enterprise sort of meetings or stream conferences or events. We're actually showing at our booth, at the Nokia booth, MIP TV, which is a European TV conference, you might know, trade show like NAB. We have done in October filming, sort of documenting the festival on different locations of the festival and interviewing some of the talent, and that's created a reel that shows on the booth that is sort of tell people what is that festival about or trade show about. But I wanted to mention to your earlier question about how does it transform business. I think VR will be something for a long time incremental to the current way of consuming entertainment. So the theatrical experience or the home experience, will be another experience in the home that you can do next to your TVs or other second screen sort of experiences, but it's definitely very different from the others in terms of a lot more immersive.
I'm wondering, Nina and Amanda, maybe you could talk a little bit about like your favorite project that you're currently working on. Is there something you guys have in the works that we should know about?
I'll say that I've signed way too many NDAs to kind of talk about what I work on now. I'm sure someone owns me at this point, but but one of the past projects that I worked on was we live streamed Barack Obama's farewell speech, and we had 7 days to pull that off, which we couldn't have done without the help of Nokia. Thank you, Chilla, and the live streaming software. But what that job did for me was open my eyes to reach and to making something that was very sticky that I could then talk to brands about how they get their ROI back. Because brands will forego monetary compensation for reach and stickiness. And that's a part of the business that we don't like to often talk about, but we got to figure out how we get this into people's hands and we, grow an audience. And so what I loved about the speech is that while I was there, my adrenaline was rushing so much that I kind of missed it. I'm 40 feet away from the president, but we just barely made the show, and I missed it. But like maybe 2 months later, I was looking back at the footage. I was there, back in the room. I was there watching the people, watching this time, this moment, this place where we almost got it right, where we were a community, where we had equality, and we were looking around the room, and there was everybody represented. And I realized that my kids may not see that, but they'll have this experience. And that's what this tool gives us. It gives us a moment to lock in time, to hold and preserve that for future generations. And that's what I feel like is going to, preserve the industry and keep us moving forward.
Well, we work on a lot of different stuff that I'm very excited about each project. But Another one that we live streamed recently was Beauty and the Beast red carpet event, and we're utilizing an interesting technology where you actually have a 360 video, but you can integrate 2D windows into the 360 space, which makes it much more engaging for your viewer. And we had twice as many viewers in our 360 live stream as the just regular 2D. So adding these 2D windows really engages your viewer, keeps them in the headset or keeps them consuming the video, and we're all multitasking in our daily lives, so it just enriches the experience. So I really like seeing this technology kind of advancing, and who knows where it'll be next.
Well, you mentioned where it will be next. I'm curious, Celine, you're really in the weeds with this. I mean, you're really part of the development of this entirely new genre. What do you see coming down the pike? What are you excited about? What would you like to be able to do that you're not quite able to do yet? Where do you think it's going?
Well, I think that we're all trying to achieve this sweet spot between live action and make it interactive, maybe branching storytelling in something. Like, this is very interesting. The life actually of Beauty and the Beast was fascinating, and I think this is the beginning of a new thing where we can be surrounded in a 360 world, but using gaze select. You can activate a different camera, you can activate a different story, and makes it more like you're in charge. Let's say I'm watching sports, and I can watch the produce feed, or I can choose which camera I want to watch, which replay I want to watch, which slow motion camera I want to watch. But you don't have to. If you want to sit down and look at the produce feed, you can, but at least you have agency. And I think that's the next step for documentaries, for storytelling, for everything. People want to have a choice. You watch Netflix because you want to have the choice of watching 12 episodes in a row, which I do all the time. That's why I'm not very productive those days. Or you can choose to watch half an episode, and you don't want to be told by anyone what to do. So if we can bring that into VR, I think that's a gold mine right there.
It's also another way for broadcast, because they're having trouble right now with the streamies taking over and more subscribers in streaming than there are for cable. But it's another way for them to bring them into the fold. So rather than just the push of the broadcast, if they have a 360 option on their website, they can actually capture those customers and those eyeballs.
Fox Sports is doing this. They have a VR app. You can watch you're in a game engine environment. You can watch the produce feed. You have companion pieces you can pick. It's an interesting first step for sure.
I think it also is reaching, changing other mediums. For example, the New York Times VR app got my 18-year-old reading the New York Times, and that is like a whole different demographic than they probably had before.
Had in mind, yes.
Right.
Yeah. Very,
it's
very
incredible. Well, we could have a whole show on this, and
just
hopefully
on
next
VR,
year we will. But we do want to give our camera away. And we want to be sure that we have a chance to say what this little toy does.
I know. I think somebody's
about?
claiming that right there.
Can you tell me what was cool about this little camera?
Well, that camera actually makes 360 and VR accessible for anybody, really. You plug that into your phone. It's so easy to use. I've had a couple other versions of 360 cameras that are similar. They weren't quite as easy. The other amazing thing that they recently updated with this camera is that you can go live to Facebook.
Yes.
So you can do a live Facebook 360 feed and bring people to NAB or wherever you are at that moment.
Wow. Okay. Well, if you win this, then you have to promise me you're going to make sure you get some 360 of the great women who are at this show doing amazing things, okay? So whoever wins this, you have to promise.
Can I give it to the most retweeted person?
Sure.
That would be Megan McGow.
Megan McGough Christian, she's actually one of our guests. Is she here?
Megan?
Yeah.
Well, you were the most retweeted. I'm the most retweeted.
Right. Frontline is going to get themselves a little 360 camera.
Woo!
That is awesome. Now, we actually have a couple of other things to give away, if you can believe it. First of all, we have, for those of you not yet in VR, we have from the Vitek group, we have a Sackler tripod.
Nice.
I think that is going to come in very handy for some of you. So I'm wondering if we can, what happened to our bowl of cards? Somebody took away my bowl of business cards. Where's our bowl of business
right
cards? Do you mind grabbing that? I can ask the guests to help me. Women just get stuff done, okay?
Right.
We're just gonna get stuff done. Okay, 5 seconds. Pull out a card.
Okay. May Manning.
May, are you here? May Manning, are you here? You get yourself a tripod. All right, May. You've got an email address there, and they will have that shipped directly to you. Fantastic. All right. Good. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. We will be back in just a few moments with the second half of our fantastic Gals and Gear live show. Thank you to our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Thank you, ladies.
Hey, we're in Mexico City on the set of Kids using the brand new Nokia technology that they gifted us with. We wanted to do something that was more immersive than just a music video, than just watching YouTube. We're kind of geeks for this VR technology because it transports you to another world. Your entire body dives in and you believe what you're seeing and you're hearing.
The setup of the boys' room and the girls' room is across this alley, and so that is creating a really interesting visual, particularly for the VR camera.
I wanted to tell a story about a boy and a girl and their relationship developing over a small amount of time, seeing each other from the two different windows across the street.
During the whole shoot, the camera is on a cable cam where the camera goes between the boys' room and the girls' room.
When I saw the footage, I was actually quite surprised at how well the camera balances the exposure. You don't really see much of an exposure change from the indoor to outdoor, but the camera holds up really well in terms of its darks and its highlights. There's a lot of information to play with.
Hi, Tom Crab. What if my voice stayed like that?
If you guys have never seen this guy in VR, now's the time, you know? There's a lot of like tricep action, you know? But it's all virtual. He's been doing shoulders, I'm not real.
The best part was the fact that you'd be able to see exactly what you're getting in real time. So you'd be able to put on a headset while you're filming and you can look around, you can see it. We couldn't have been able to pull this off without that.
Okay, in 3 seconds you'll shut the door. And 1, 2, 3.
It's a very different experience, and it's going to be not just 360, but it's also going to be 3D. It will give them a real feeling of being there.
We've always wanted to host our own kind of street party experience, and this was the song to do it. Kids isn't just about being a kid, it's about embracing your youth, but don't live in the past. Just get a headset, watch this on VR because it will rock your world, it'll absolutely change your life.
Hi, this is Rachel Bastarash-Bogan, a video editor at Renegade Digital Post in Denver, Colorado, and you're watching Gals and Gear on NAB Show Live, live streamed by Broadcast Beat.
You start. I'll introduce.
And welcome back to Gals and Gear. I want to thank our sponsors again, Blackmagic Design, Snell Advanced Media, and Vitech. And thanks to our supporting partners, Adobe, Otthouse, Audio Rampant Design, Radiant Images, Sundance Media Group, Isotope, and Zacuto.
All right. Now, we have with us a fabulous woman who is in the post-production of sound designer, Otthouse Audio founder, Cheryl Ottenritter. I will also admit that she is my neighbor.
Yes.
Full disclosure.
Sessions.
It turned out we were in the same business and we live a block apart. And I mix all my shows at Otthouse Audio, so yay, Cheryl. Cheryl, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yep.
Tell me what has changed in sound post-production since you've been in the business.
Well, from the very first, I was one of the lucky ones that I actually started my career as digital audio was starting. So I never actually had work in analog, which is kind of, for my length in the business, that's kind of unusual. And so it's changed. So digital audio has changed so drastically from the beginning when you had so many sync errors, digital artifacts, just problems, lots of problems, to now where it's just assumed everything's going to work just right? Like
that's what I assume when I come to you.
Oh, well, usually that's what it does. So I would say that's the biggest change gear-wise is that digital audio has definitely grown up. You've gone from mono to stereo to now Atmos 360 audio, I mean, the formats has totally changed. Instead of thinking in channels, you're thinking in sound field now, which is a really awesome concept, a really awesome place to be.
And you've been doing a lot of things in sort of 360 and environmental. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we've been doing a lot of work in the Atmos realm, which is a sound immersion, a theatrical format. 360 audio is the 360 experience that includes height. Usually when you experience audio, it's left, right, front, forward. But now we get to deal with height too. It's lots of fun. So, and then I'm doing a project for the National Zoo next week. Did some projects for Google last year, and I'm mixing some shows in Atmos for Smithsonian Channel.
I could totally see a viral video of falling into the lion cage, and you got it, and you hear the lion. Like,
well, this
seriously,
is pandas.
like
this is pandas, and we had, it's like they're pretty vicious animals actually. So I don't want anywhere near them. But
they make a lot of sound. I didn't realize.
No, and that's the problem. We're having to Foley a lot of stuff to make it interesting. So
I'm telling you, a 60-second fall into the lion den.
Yeah, well, and the pandas ate the camera box, so it's been a little bit of a problem. Yeah. So whoops.
So you've been teaching now for many years at Editors Retreat at here at Post Production World.
Right.
What is like the one thing that you wish people knew about sound design and sound post? You could just like one.
Actually, there's two.
Okay, you can have two.
You can boil all sound down to volume and pan. Everything in audio, if you think about it, goes down to volume and pan. So if you EQ, you're attenuating or decreasing or boosting frequencies. That's just gain. Compression, that's just compressing stuff to get more gain. And pan is obviously awesome. It's wherever you want to be. So if you, long as you approach it, don't demystify it. It's really not that hard to follow. Break everything down to volume and pan.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
And I want to do a shout out to Isotope.
Yes, I wanted to mention that we have some giveaways. Tell people what we have.
Well, Isotope RX is a great noise reduction. Half of what we do is noise reduction and on a daily basis. And I'm sure most of you here are editors that have to deal with that, or producers that have to deal with sound that you think is unrepairable. Right. Well, I don't use this software in front of clients if I can help it, because it's like magic.
I want magic.
I don't want you to know that yes, we can fix it. So, but they just came out with a new software that actually takes the de-rustle out of the lav, and I was going to show de-click and de-rustle this morning, but unfortunately it wasn't really coming across on the speakers.
Right.
That's awesome. Should I pick a winner?
Pick a winner.
We should pick a winner. There are two of them, but I have one of them I'm giving to somebody special that's helping Gals in Gear. So you can give one of them away.
I can give one of them away to this one?
Is Kristen Rodriguez here?
Kristen Rodriguez.
Kristen, you've been helping us out, tweeting.
Yay!
Let's bring Kristen up. All right.
She was one of our top tweeters.
Yeah.
I'm happy to give you a demo.
Stand there and hold it up.
Sure, just find me.
Yay.
Fantastic.
Turn around and hold it up for Judith. She's going to take a picture.
And also a big change in audio from the beginning of my career to the end of the career, I just have to mention, because it is Gals in Gear, is when I started it was 2% female, and now maybe is up to 5 or 8. Right. So that's
better.
Double.
But it's still not enough.
Good.
No.
So
if you know any young women who are interested in getting in our business, talk to them about getting into the sound mixing, sound design, post-production career. It's a fantastic career.
Yeah.
They can learn from Cheryl at her sessions at Editors Retreat. I have one more person I'm going to give this to, and that is our executive producer, Samantha Chang, who's talking in my ear.
Right.
And I know that she has a project that she's going to need this for, and she's been giving us a lot of her time, complimentary. So, Samantha Chang, you're going to get this fabulous isotope. She's waiting from the broadcast booth. Okay.
All right.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being on our show.
Thank you for having me. If I don't see you here at the show, I'll see you at home.
I'll see you on Drew Drive.
All right.
Take care.
See ya.
Awesome. So is it time to talk about editing and workflow?
It is.
It is? I'm very excited.
Who wants to help me?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So do we have our editor? Here we go.
We got a lot of great women coming on board here for our editing segment. Right. We have Megan McGough Christian, who is with Frontline, WGBH, and one of our best tweeters, apparently.
Most retweeted. I literally just went down the line and she had the most retweets on her tweet, so I picked her.
And May Manning, who we didn't even know had put her card in the bowl. So just so you know, it's not an inside thing.
It's not.
It's not. May Manning, who is from Georgia. And then we have Sue Lawson from Chicago. I'll talk a little bit about Sue first, and then we'll go back down the line. Sue is the president of Chicago Final Cut Pro Users Group. Is that right?
Creative Pro Users Group.
Creative Pro Users Group, sorry.
Platform agnostic.
Nice. That's even better. She's been involved with Women in Film there. She's been an award-winning editor for many years. She does commercials, television, documentaries. I think anything she gets her hands on is a better product. So that's nice to know. So I want to start with you, Sue, and just tell us, what is the secret right now to what you're doing in editing? How has it changed since you started in the business? What would you say is the biggest difference?
For me, I think that the biggest difference and the greatest change is just keeping up with the technology. Because it's not just about the creativity, it is about the tools that we're working with, which is one of the reasons I think that we all come here to NAB. And hey, it's Gals and Gear, so it is the gear. But keeping up with that, trying to stay abreast of the power that's needed, because everything that's out there can make our lives easier in the editing suite. And what I want to spend my time on is the story. I want to spend it on being creative, not on fixing things. Fixing the edit, fixing equipment, exactly.
Now, May, I know that you started out and actually you had a kid at a very young age and decided that you wanted to be an editor, built your own system, learned what you needed to learn. Tell me what was the bug that bit you that made you feel like editing is my life?
I was always a big film buff when I was in high school, but I knew I wanted to work in the industry, just not what department. Like, I knew I didn't want to act. Directing wasn't my thing. And then I actually saw the movie trailer for the movie 300 when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
And then William Hoy was immediately my favorite editor, and I knew that that's what got my heart beating really fast, was the way that he cut things to, the beats of the music, his speed ramps that he used. They were just incredible. So I was like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. I want to edit. Like, I want to be an editor. So, and then of course, life plays it out, and I got pregnant at 19 and figured that the industry was just way too competitive for a single mother. So I started bartending, but I still used editing as a creative outlet. So I cut music videos on the side and just had a YouTube channel, and lo and behold, a producer actually came across my YouTube channel and offered me a full-time job, my dream job. So
wow.
Yeah. So I was it's awesome, and it's a shame that sometimes, being a parent can be seen as like a weakness in this industry, but I mean, I'm proof that it's not. So, absolutely not.
Well, I think Megan can speak to that. She just has a fairly new baby, and she's been running the Frontline post-production workshop, the whole back end of Frontline for many years. So tell us, first of all, what is really the highlight of your post-production workflow? I know it's very complicated now because you're not just putting out the show, you're putting out on multiple platforms, and then maybe work in there. How have things changed since you had the baby?
Well, yes, the workflow for Frontline, the highlight is that we do our finishing, packaging, and mix in about 5 days and deliver right before air, which for a long-form documentary series is a very short amount of time to get all of that done.
No kidding.
And we're doing all of that simultaneously in multiple rooms. So, without our avid interplay in ISIS, that simply wouldn't be possible. But we're bringing in as you mentioned, the new tools keep coming in, so we're building off of that as well. We're doing color correction and Resolve as well. We've got Pro Tools upstairs for our mix suites. So I think the highlight for us is the way that we're able to keep the core of our production going
with ISIS and Interplay, and then add in the new tools as they come up. And we are producing an hour, 90-minute, 2-hour documentaries and pushing those out for delivery every week. And now, of course, we're also doing our social media. We have a whole a team working on digital efforts that are, digital originals and original journalism that doesn't go straight to broadcast. It might go out to the Facebook or YouTube first, whatever the best platform is to tell the story. So our job has always been to complete the production in such a way the editorial is first, and that they always can do what they need to do for the journalism, and pick the platform that is best for the story they need to tell. So that's kind of that is our mission and our goal, and we have an incredible team we work with at Frontline and at Outpost at WGBH, our post-production facility, who help us complete all of that work. They are really instrumental for me, not only in getting all that work done, but now that I do have a 10-month-old son and I've returned to work full-time, I can rely on my teammates. And I think that's one of the wonderful things about post-production that I've always loved, is we work with some of the best people and in such a great environment to get things done. And as a new mom, that is, that team has just continued to be there for me, and I would not be able to do what we do without them.
So let me ask Sue and then May, tell me, what are you looking at while you're here at NAB Show? What tools are you looking for that are going to help you be faster, better, cooler?
Well, always the hardware. That's going to help me be faster. A lot of the software is going to help me be cooler. And one of the things that is blowing me away is being able to do something end-to-end. So it's not necessarily what I'm looking out for here, it's what I'm stumbling across. So I'm always listening out for the latest announcements. You wander the floor, you talk to people to find out what they just saw that was cool, because maybe I haven't been at that booth yet. And then things like Black Magic, who went ahead, and they are pretty much almost from beginning to end, they have become this fabulous player between the cameras, now being able to edit and resolve.
It's funny that you said that.
I know.
Because
There's this
look what I
camera
have under my table here. I have a Blackmagic camera
Yeah.
and DaVinci Resolve that we're going to be able to give away right now. And we also have a $500 gift certificate from Zacuto. So I think that might be a couple of things people might want.
Somebody's going to love that.
Is that 3 different giveaways, or is that one giveaway?
No, it's mine in there
I think that's 3 separate giveaways.
3 separate giveaways, okay.
May, tell me quickly what you think is a great tool.
I am a big fan of building my own editing rigs. So, and I'm sorry, I am not platform agnostic. I'm very much pro PC. But that's probably my favorite thing. And then as far as what makes us cooler, definitely I'm kind of going on a big plug-in spree. Like lately I just got new BCC 10 from Boris FX, and that has improved so much.
Well, we are going to give away some stuff, and I have one name that's been following me around, and I think that she really is going to make good use of this camera.
Yeah.
Her name is Julie Taylor, and she's with the Western Kentucky University. I know universities don't have very much money, and so I think they're going to do a really great job with this camera. So quickly take that camera. Okay, and we also want to give the post-production things away. So we need somebody who's an editor. Not up here.
Up here.
Way in the back, waving her hand. She's with the Blue Collar Post Collective, which is a fantastic group that helps women and people who are maybe not as easily accessible into our industry to get into our industry, thanks to Kylie Pena. And so here you go. Run.
Okay,
Right, we're
am I going to pick that one?
We're going to have to give away in the second segment, so we got to bring on our next guest. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
it's been
you.
great to have you. All right. That was fantastic.
So I will tell you, editing was like, that is the number one thing. You can make or break a show, and I have had horrible editing done, And then I've had a genius editor take the
Right.
exact same raw footage
Right.
and like create magic. I so wish I
Well-
could have one of my friends come up and
Well,
talk
and I
about what
tell
they
you,
just did
we
with
are
raw
going to
footage.
help. We are going to help the next group because we have some final great giveaways from these ladies. So let me introduce Victoria Neese from Adobe. And Victoria, actually, I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about what you do at Adobe, just quickly.
Sure. I'm the product manager for motion graphics and visual effects, which is After Effects and character animator. So that means I work on the roadmap. I help figure out what we want to do next. I talk to customers, and I'm here at NAB, both showing off what we have with our new release, which is awesome, but also helping figure out, listening to everyone here about what do we do next.
Fantastic. And next we have Stephanie Mullen from Rampant Design. And by the way, I have a giveaway from Adobe, which is a 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud. That's worth some money.
Which is awesome.
And we have a couple things from Stephanie from Rampant Design that she's going to explain right now.
So what we're giving away at Rampant, we create effects for your video to make your video better. Everybody knows that time is very valuable, so we've created stuff that saves you time. It's high quality, it makes it look nice, and it makes it look, amazing. So that's kind of what we do. And we have our Premiere Essentials and our Final Cut Essentials are presets that we've created, so you don't have to install anything. You put them in, drag them to your clip, and you're done, which makes it really nice. So,
Wow. And then I want to introduce Sophia Kyriakou. She's here from London. Yay. Thank you for coming. And she flew on United and she made it in one piece. So
In one piece.
God. She is a 3D animation designer and broadcast designer and artist, and she has some amazing stuff to show us. So I was wondering if the guys in the booth could roll a little bit of a piece that she's here because she's up for an award here at the show. Do we have a little bit of Sophia's zoetrope? Can we roll that?
Maybe.
Okay, we're going to do that in just a second. So before we do that, just tell us what made you decide to become a 3D artist? How did you pick that out of the world?
Well, I kind of got into it originally when I started training for my degree. I wanted to become a children's book illustrator, which is completely different. And then eventually I got into photography, and then I wanted to make my images move.
Here comes your piece.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this beautiful piece.
Okay. Well, I was commissioned by a small Arabic outfit over in West London, and they wanted a program brand, and the program's called Human Rights. And they wanted a title sequence, lower third, 4K wall, and a sting. And basically, what I thought I'd do was create a fully functional 3D zoetrope. And because I was kind of looking at all the Declaration of Human Rights and made a short list and everything. And then suddenly it occurred to me that the word zoetrope actually means wheel of life in Greek. So I kind of presented the concept to the client and did some tests, and they were very happy with it. And I thought, brilliant, because now I can get to have a play and create a zoetrope. So that was it.
Well, we hope you win the award. Is that tonight?
It's tonight, yes,
it's
at
tonight.
the New York
so
Festival.
Let's give her a little
thank
shout
you very
out
much.
for we hope you win that. All right, now Stephanie, I want to ask you a question. You and your husband started Rampant Design.
We did, yes.
Tell me a little bit about the challenges of running a business in this industry.
It's very difficult. We're just two people in a sea of much larger companies, and so we're struggling. It's like screaming at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and we're just trying to hope somebody hears us. And it's hard. We have a lot of challenges. We have a lot of challenges being a male-female company. As far as me being front and center, it's very difficult.
We're going
at
to show
times.
some of your great stuff from Rampant.
So this is what we were giving away for Premiere Essentials, which is really cool stuff. So yeah, it's very hard, and we just try to, we work really long hours, 15, 18 hours a day, and I don't think we see the bed at all. We don't sleep very much, which is very difficult, very exhausting, but it's something that you have to do as a small company to keep going and keep your name out there and social media and all. I mean, the list never ends every day, and so yeah, it's just been one of those things where we just keep plugging away.
Well, I wonder, if we could actually send the bowl down to you and let you pick out the winner of the rampant. We'll do 2 winners because there's 2.
Oh, I can't go any farther.
You're tethered. Stay here. Don't go away, Adryenn. She'll just float right away.
So how about Rachel Bogan?
Rachel, are you here? All right. You get to choose. Which one do you want? Come up and pick. Final cut or
Premiere. That's
Premiere?
what I cut in.
Okay.
There we go.
And then I guess we're gonna have to find somebody who cuts in Final Cut for the other one.
If you win and you get Final Cut and you don't use Final Cut, you can email me and I will give you the premiere version
there
of
you
that
go.
as well.
How nice is that? Okay.
Awesome.
Give
All
us
right,
one
so
more winner.
the second one goes to Mario Cucini.
Mario, are you here? Mario Cucini. Gotta be
going once. Pick again.
Must be present to
twice.
win.
Pick another one. Pick another
Pickety
one. All
quick.
right. How about Chelsea Sarbach?
Chelsea, are you here?
Woo.
Yay! All right, excellent.
Awesome.
Okay, now let's go to Victoria. Victoria, I want to ask you a little bit about Adobe's celebrating your 25th.
Yes.
What kinds of cool stuff are you guys doing for that?
So this is Premiere's 25th anniversary, and I think the coolest thing to me has actually been getting to see the whole timeline of all this. They've gone back and grabbed every splash screen, every version of Premiere, all the old promos. It's been really cool getting to see that stuff. And it's going to be After Effects 25th in January, so we're going to have some really cool stuff planned for that too.
Excellent.
Nice.
And tell me, what are you most excited about? Is there a product that you're really interested in?
Really, for me, it's everything that saves people time, because the way the industry's changing, everyone wants things faster, everyone wants things better quality and shorter turnaround times, also in 13 languages and 5 versions for 5 different platforms. And so anything that can save the hours of work around that so that people have more time to actually do the creative part of the job. It's part of why with Character Animator we've been working on live animation. It's the same idea of just you can do something so fast now that you can do real-time work and turn around things that were never possible before.
I love that you have mobile. I still use Adobe Clip.
Clip is great.
It's awesome.
great.
It still works.
Yeah.
I mean, I just see that there's so many people where everybody has a mobile phone. So inspiring them to like dive in while they're on their mobile at a younger age and start creating things.
Yeah, I was at a film festival recently for middle and high school girls, and there was a 6th grader who showed me an entire 30-second animation, hand-drawn, that she had done on her phone.
Yeah.
Can you
Incredible.
reach into that bowl and pick out a name for your Adobe Creative Cloud
All
license,
right.
please?
This is a good prize. Let's see. Miles Alvord from Frontline.
Wow, 2 winners from Frontline. I don't know if that's legit, but all right, we'll give one guy a prize on this show because you are here to support us, and we appreciate men who support Gals and Gear. So thank you. Hold it up for the camera. Yay! Thank you for coming out. All right, can you pass it to Sophia? You have to be very fast, Sophia. Just tell us one quick thing to tell girls who want to get into
In 10 seconds.
3D animation.
Just follow your passion and just keep working at it and just experiment with everything. Don't be blinkered to anything. Just keep going, and that's my advice.
All right, I want to give one more thing away, $500 gift certificate. Somebody who has been really supporting Gals and Gear is Traveling Jules. I see you tweeting in the back, and I think you could probably make good use of this to help us out on our next show, so come on up. Thank you for supporting Gals and Gear. Traveling Jules, she has an awesome show where she shows people how to use gear. Hold it up for the camera, Jules.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Throw it out.
Thank you so much for coming. Gals and Gear is so important at NAB Show to show that women actually rock in front of and behind the camera and all the gear. And this is a place for you to celebrate. Please get the tag for under your name badge to share the love. Please tweet Gals and Gear. Come back next year. We're here to do this and share the latest and greatest bleeding edge everything and the women that you should hire to do it. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, this is Rob Rush from 94.3 The Shark here on Long Island, and you are watching NAB Show Live, produced by Broadcast Beat.
Ryan Saddles here with NAB Show Live. We have a very special guest right now, America Ferrera. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Trying to keep my voice here in Vegas. So congratulations. You just got the Television Chairman's Award at NAB Show today.
That's right.
So how does that feel?
It feels great. It's an incredible honor to be recognized by the Association of Broadcasters, and you know, to be honored specifically for the representation that the work I've been lucky enough to do has created in the industry.
All right. So Ugly Betty, that was an awesome show. That's when I first learned of you. You've got to be proud of that. But now you're working on another show.
Yes.
And it's your baby.
Well, it kind of well, kind of. It was my infant. It was someone else's baby.
Right.
Justin Spitzer, who worked on The Office for 6 years, created this wonderful show, and it's about, everyday people working at a Cloud9, insert Walmart, Target, any kind of big box store. And it's just about people from all walks of life, coexisting, and there's so much room for humor, but also for smart, poignant commentary. Not necessarily, there's not necessarily a message so much as it is so many people's different perspectives on any given issue, and mining that for the humor.
And so I hear that you're really big on women's issues and Hispanic issues. I think that's really awesome.
Thank you.
And so you're very involved with the community.
I've been involved with a number of communities, and I'm really big on just like people. I'm big on people being represented and having a voice and feeling empowered, and I've done work with women people and with Latino people and all other kinds of people.
All right, excellent. All right, America Ferrera, the one, the only, right here in a hidden location at NAB Show. We'll get back to the studio. Ryan Saddles here with NAB Show Live, and we're at the Maxon booth in South Lower. We have Paul Babb. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing great. So how's the show treating you?
You know what? For the first day, we're packed. It's great. We've got great crowds here. We got great crowds at the booth, and we're actually streaming on live. We've got thousands of people watching on live as well. It's
so
great.
You guys have all sorts of presentations this week. It's more about than the product, but you're actually giving best practices and everything.
Well, I think what the artist does with the paintbrush is much more interesting than the paintbrush. So, and we really sell a very elaborate paintbrush. And you're right, we've got 28 presentations from 20 different artists. And like I said, we're streaming on live at c4dlive.com. So even if you're not at the show, you can be watching the content.
That's excellent. So what's a show like NAB Show mean to a company like yours?
Oh, well, it's a great opportunity for us to spend time with the artists. It's a great time for us to spend our time with new customers, old customers, get together with our partners. That face-to-face time is invaluable.
Excellent. All right, so as far as products and product announcements, do you have anything new that you'd like to announce or updates or anything?
No, not right now. We did just release a great tutorial series on FUI creation, fictional user interface, from one of the top artists, top companies in the country doing a fictional user interface for both film, television, and for future devices like self-driving cars and those types of things on Cineversity.com. A great 10-part series teaching people how to do it themselves, the creative process and the nuts and bolts. It's really incredible.
So what's exciting is Cineversity has become so popular. When you talk to anybody and you mention Cinema 4D or Maxon at all, the first thing they talk about is Cineversity. It's exciting.
Really?
Yeah. I know quite a few animators, and it's talked about quite a bit.
That's incredible. That's great to hear. We're trying really hard to provide the kind of content information that makes people, helps people be successful getting done what they need to get done.
You know what's exciting too? Your software, from what I hear from animators, it's easier to animate for them as an animator than it is some other software that could be more complicated.
Well, we try to make it designer friendly, so creative friendly, so that maybe the tools are not getting in your way, so the artists can be creative and do what they want to explore, just like they do in Photoshop and Illustrator, but in a 3D world.
All right, again, from South Lower with Paul Babb at the Maxon booth, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for coming by.
Back to the studio.